Dave Mustaine and the company treated their fans with the second single from Megadeth's upcoming studio record, The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. And while I absolutely love both songs at the first listen, after listening to them for a couple of times, I couldn't stop but concentrate on the things which bother me about them rather than on their strong points.
Concealed in the night from the light of the moon, undetected between the heavens, the stars and the seas.
Night Stalkers opens with an amazing, powerful and vicious riff, which will basically follow you throughout the track. And I gotta say that I actually absolutely love that riff. And in order to be fair, let's point out that Dave Mustaine actually never had problems with writing catchy and memorable riffs.
You can hear the thunder roll, you can hear the engines roar.
Overall on this track, Dave Mustaine, who is by the way 60 years old now, with all his strengths shows that he will stay true to his own roots and will play the good old thrash metal until the day he dies. And if we're being very honest, he actually succeeds in it. In addition to a kick-ass riff, the song features a very sturdy rhythm section, and by the way, in no way I intend to compare James to Dave Ellefson, but you actually gotta give props to him and Dirk for creating a very steady backbone for the song's composition. And in addition, this part might actually be my favorite one on Night Stalkers overall. In addition to that, the song features 3 bombastic and vicious guitar solos, which alone put under the table pretty much anything the band has done on the past 2 or 3 albums. And a rather unexpected, in my personal opinion, appearance by the rapper Ice-T. By the way, according to Dave Mustaine, he actually asked Ice-T to perform on this track to give the track a little bit more credibility, since Ice-T has served in Afghanistan. And please do not throw stones at me because I'm not actually an Ice-T fan and I might not know something. Yet with a quick search on the internet, I simply couldn't find any proof or disproof that Ice-T has actually served in Afghanistan. And the only army-related Ice-T news I found on the internet were that he actually had to go to an army prison for stealing a rug.
Locked and loaded, game's over, bitches.
So in a nutshell, Night Stalkers has actually all of the competence of being a great thrash metal song, and it probably is. So what's my problem with it? Here you go. Number 1. In his attempt to be a true old school thrash metaler, Dave Mustaine might have gone a little bit too far and tuned down a notch on creativity and variation on this track. Because even though I still think that the main guitar riff on Night Stalkers is pure thrash, after the boys play it for the 30th time in a row, it becomes a little bit repetitive. And you in your head try to look for something else and where else this song might go. Yet it returns to the same pattern again and again.
Failing their flat black body armor gleams, light it up.
Number 2, the chorus is actually my least favorite part on this track. And if we simply compare Night Stalkers to its predecessor We'll Be Back, overall the second single might actually be the strongest one among those two. Yet when you go to shower and you try to sing a little the new Megadeth song's tune, for some reason only this one comes to my head, making it a much more memorable song than Night Stalkers.
Just when you think it's safe, I attack. We'll be back.
Yet both of those are of course a matter of taste, just like an Ice-T appearance, which I honestly do not understand and consider a little bit unnecessary. And if you think about it, everything I say in this or any other video is actually a matter of my personal taste, so please do not hesitate to comment on anything you hear or see in this video, and especially if you disagree with me. Because the whole point of our channel is of course to start a conversation.
Write that down, write that down!
But the point which truly bothers me about Night Stalkers, and it's actually the one which I allowed myself to sit on, and this is actually partially why I did not release a video the next day the song came out, because I truly wanted to make sure that it's not just in my head. But the third and the most important point which bothers me about Night Stalkers is where does this song take you after an amazing breakdown? Nowhere. It takes you back to exactly the same riff which has been following you through the entire track. That might be a little too picky, and I know that. But what happens after the breakdown actually does not allow me to call this track a great thrash metal song, and actually makes Night Stalker way more predictable than I personally wanted it to be.
Lights out in the desert. Battle for ready to fight.
And once again, as weird as it sounds, while Night Stalkers actually features much stronger components, you know, one by one, than the first single from this record. Overall, in my personal opinion, the song's composition is actually much more mature and complete, but we'll be back. But anyways, what do you guys personally think about Night Stalkers? And we'll be back. Please let us know in the comments. Did you agree with my assessment, or did you think that I'm utterly crazy? And this song is actually the best thing which happened to music world after Tenacious D tribute.
We are but men, rock.
And also, please do not forget that the war in my country is still going on, and we're still fighting, and people dying every day here. So please continue supporting Ukraine in any way you possibly can. Thank you so much for watching this short video, guys, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!